Toulouse survive a scare against Sale. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. The start to this game was delayed because the ball was delivered by parachute, and the guy with the ball, he came down fine, but one of his mates got stuck up in the rafters, and they had to get a cherry picker in to eventually get him down. So kickoff delayed by 40 minutes. Bit of a weird one that. Then Toulouse, once things actually kick off, they get a brilliant start. So spread the ball left. Ramos releases Kinghorn. He screeches down the wing. Stopped just short. Then they move it in field. Sale almost intercept, but the ball goes to deck. Toulouse regather and surge forward towards the line. Jack Willis then gets over to score, converted for 7 points to 0. Sale then hit back straight away, working into 22. Good carry from Ben Curry. Then James picks a great line, shakes off a tackle. Really come onto the ball at pace as well. Over he goes to score. Ford misses the very kickable conversion, honestly. 7 points to 5. Toulouse then on attack again. Capuozzo puts on a bit of footwork, beats two men out wide. Then nice little dab through. Ramos gets the ball first, but looks like he's grounded it. But we have a TMO check. We see first of all he's knocked it on, and even if he hadn't, had he grounded it, he was grounded on the line. So no try, and it is because he knocked it on first. It's a goal line drop out to Sale. From here then, Sale go up the line into the 22 from penalty, claim the line out. Cowan Dickey comes on the wrap. Good carry from Curry. They go left, then go back to the right, 10 metres out, but Grow gets in there and turns it over. Toulouse kick clear. Sale then, they come forward again. Hands in the ruck from Miafu, and it's a penalty. Ford slots it and Sale hit the front, 8 points to 7. They then lose Tom Curry with a wrist injury, and that was a big blow for them because the two Currys in there in the back row really were creating a bit of havoc for Toulouse and getting them some decent positions. Entamac then knocks on high kick from Ford just outside his 22. Scrum to Sale and a decent chance. They attack off the scrum. Gus War with a nice step on Willis. Then they recycle and Hill reaches out to score, convert for 15 points to 7. Toulouse then come forward, force a penalty. Ramos brings them back, win a score, 15 points to 10. We have around that time 2 drop goal attempts from Ford. The first one is just a scuff kick. The second one is closer, but neither of them get over. Sale then back in attack. They shift it wide. Dupree puts a little grubber in and Roebuck collects it to go over the line. But we have a TMO check and he has his foot in touch, so it's no try. They were talking about in the studio whether it was a close one or whatever, but you could see he touches it first with one foot and then with the other. So I guess if you're cheering for a team, you want it not to be true. But I think it was pretty clear that it was definitely foot and touch. Toulouse then clear from the line out, 15-10 at the halftime score. In the second half, then James with a boot through the ruck early on, and Toulouse kicked the penalty to the corner. Very stupid from him. They claim the line out. They have a dummy peel, and then Cross comes straight through the middle. Sale caught on the hop a little bit. So even though there was a bunch of them trying to tackle him, it was just that kind of momentary shock of, oh, this is happening, that gave him that momentum, and over he goes. Ramos converts to the touchline, 17 points to 15. Toulouse are in front. Ford then puts up a high kick. No one gets to it. It bounces, then Capuozzo claims it, and Toulouse comes streaming forward. Willis goes for the line. He's stopped, recycled, and then Grau has a go, but the ball squirts forward. And, that really should have been a try from them, honestly. Like, they kind of made a mess of that. Sale then win a penalty at the resulting scrum, and they can clear. Another Sale penalty, and they kick up the line. Important really that they get something here, because they've been out of the game a little bit in the second half. 10 metres out from the line, but Cowan-Dickey overthrows, and Toulouse boot it clear. And, a lot of little errors from Sale, really. Entomac then kicks out in the full, and Sale have a good position outside the 22. And it really feels like it's one of those games where whichever team can actually find their composure is going to win it. Hill then claims a line out, and it's going forward, but then Rouma comes through the middle and gets on the ball. Unplayable turnover to Toulouse. They win a penalty then at the scrum and are able to clear. Entomac then produces a great 50-22. And just before that as well, like a loose ball on the ground, and he just kind of flicks it up with his foot to Ramos. It's just a brilliant bit of skill. And the 50-22 wasn't bad either. Toulouse then work it to the line, and then Marchand grounds on the line, convert for 24 points to 15. And that really did feel significant. Like, they're now taking their points where, Sale were just not taking any opportunities. Couple of kicks out in the full though from Malia allows, decent position for Sale on the edge of the Toulouse 22, just inside 22. But as they move it, Dupree puts in a crossfield kick, and it just sails into touch. Just not punishing Toulouse's errors at all. Then Toulouse almost killed the game off. Capuozzo flirts with the touchline on the right. They then move it in field. Kinghorn with a step on the defender, recycled, and then Merkler goes over, but Timo Cech confirms that Capuozzo had a foot in touch out there on the right, and that was the same, pretty much the same place where Roebuck did it for Sale in the first half as well. Then Capuozzo does kill the game off, claims a kick wide right, then just goes on a 45-degree angle, heading for the post, weases his way through the defence and under the post to score. What a try from him, convert for 31 points to 15. But he's injured himself, and he's got to go off on a stretcher. And, really wish him a speedy recovery, because he was being treated down there for a while. It looked like, who was it? Tom O'Flaherty, I think, tackled him, and he actually went off injured too. So two of them getting injured in that tackle right as he was scoring. Toulouse then, they just kind of, they spot that there's nobody home for Sale, and the play is around about halfway. So they just put a kick in behind, and it's a foot race. Kinghorn doesn't get there, like almost gets there, but it was a Sale player, another Scottish guy. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he claims it. But then Toulouse managed to turn the ball over, and then it is Cromont goes over to score, and that's converted for 38 points to 15, and that was our full-time score. Okay, let's have a look at the stats, and then we'll have a chat about each of the teams. So let me pull them up on the site here. Give it a refresh so we have the most up-to-date numbers. So tries, 5 tries to 2, and Toulouse, not brilliant, but again still taking their chances in that second half. And that really was a big difference between the teams. On attack then, 438 meters made to 387, and that's from 147 carries to 99. So Toulouse making less than 3 meters a carry, and Sale making almost 4. Clean breaks though 13 to 2. So Toulouse the ones finding those gaps. Defenders beating 30 to 7. And when you look at like the players they had, like that Capuozzo, then you got the likes of Kinghorn in there as well, and a few like other decent backs in there as well. And it's no wonder that they're beating so many defenders. Offloads then 18 to 3. Toulouse love to keep the ball going, and just keep that momentum up when they have, a sniff of anything. The ball's not going to deck. They're just going to offload and keep it going. Passes then 146 to 102. Possession 56% to 44, and territory 57 to 43. And Toulouse, they kept that pressure on, especially in the second half, and Sale found it very hard to get in positions. And as we talked about, through the game, when they did, they just, lacked composure and couldn't take advantage of them. Tackles made then 98 to 126. 84% for Toulouse, is pretty decent. 67 for Sale. That's now the worst of the weekend. We had a new worst in the last game, which was Ulster with 68, but 67 now is the worst of the 8 games that we had in the Champions Cup this weekend, or at least of the 7 games that I covered. I don't know about between Castra and Benetton, but I don't think either of those teams were as bad. Then set pieces, line out 16, 1 to 13. Toulouse 100%. Sale 87%. Cowan-Dickey, overthrowing, and messing the line up on a couple of occasions that really, cost them when they were still had a sniff at the game. Scrums won then 5 to 3, 83% to 100% on that. On to kicking then, kicks from hand, 33 from Toulouse and 30 from Sale, 943 meters to 833. So both teams, kicking long, round about, just under 30 meters for Toulouse per kick, and a little bit less than that, 20 odd, 28 probably, I think, for Sale. Retained kicks then 4 to 3, and then penalty goals 1 each. But the thing with the kicks wasn't really retaining their own kick. It was, some loose kicks from Sale that were taken by Toulouse. That was one of the many deciding factors in the game. On to the breakdown then. 85 rucks won to 62. 1 ruck lost to 4. And Toulouse, very aggressive when they saw the chance there to turn the ball over. Ruck success then 97% to 93. And mauls then 5 to 3, and making 5 meters to 2 meters. And then 100% maul success to 67. On to discipline. Finally, so penalties conceded 8 for Toulouse and 7 for Sale. So both teams doing, what you really want to do, which is keep those penalties down into single figures. And neither team really had, sustained periods where they were conceding penalties either, where they were kind of under pressure of receiving a card or something like that. Okay, so let's talk about the team. So Sale, first of all, I thought they did well to respond to going down early. They could have, we saw with Ulster where they went 21-0 down before they started to perform at all. But Sale, responded straight away to conceding, got themselves over again. Should have been level because Ford should have converted it, but they did go ahead after the penalty, and they created chances in their first half, and they should have taken more of them. They 15-10 leading at half time. It should have been another score on top of that to give themselves a bit more percussion. Then a very poor start to the second half for them. The fact that the set piece didn't go all that well for them too was an issue, and then that lack of composure too. And it's I think it kind of speaks to the fact that they're a team that aren't really getting to this level very often. Domestically in the Premiership is different, right? But at this level, at European level, you're playing teams like Toulouse. You everything has to go your way, and you get a chance, you have to take it, because eventually they're going to click into gear, and that's what happened to them. Like, and when Toulouse clicked into gear, they just couldn't live with them. But fair play to them. Nobody gave them a chance in this game. Everybody just assumed that Toulouse were going to be advancing to the quarterfinals. So they gave them a bit of a scare. But yeah, like if next year they can get back to this stage again, they'll need to learn from today in terms of being able to handle the occasion, because I think in the second half certainly it got to them a little bit. On to Toulouse then. So perfect start for them. Then very sloppy for most of that first half. Again, lucky to be within 5 points at the break, but then the second half, they started well, got themselves ahead. They had a little bit of a wobble there, when they were giving opportunities to Sale, but Sale weren't taking them. And, both teams were kind of at the point where, if they conceded, maybe they're in a little bit of trouble, but they were the ones that actually found that composure. And then, once they got themselves, another try, and more than one score ahead, then they never looked like losing from there, honestly. And they just they got another few tries towards the end to make the scoreline, look a lot better than kind of the performance maybe, justified. But, that's what teams like Toulouse do. Like, once they click, they just keep going, and if there's an opportunity there to score, they're going to take it. So, that little blip, well, it was more than a little blip, obviously, like for most of the first half, and then in the second half, then a period where, things weren't quite going their way, but not going Sale's way either. Like, both teams kind of, fumbling in the dark almost. But it was Toulouse who found the light and then came through in the end, and that's the mark of a champion team as well. I think, even when things aren't going well for them, they still find a way to get those scores, get themselves in front, and then get the win as well. And winning 38-15, and you're thinking it wasn't a great performance from them, that there's more obviously to come from this team. But now they go on. I think they're going to, is it Toulon now in the, I think it is Toulon, right, in the quarterfinals. So that's going to be, another big game for them. It's away from home, but, they're the defending champions, and I think home or away, it's not going to really matter for them in this tournament, because they know they have a chance anyway. And if they also know, though, that this performance today won't be enough to make it to the semi-finals. So certainly, some things for them to improve on for next time.